Alright guys, so we all know how annoying mosquitoes can be. Alaska would be a fun place to visit though, I'd like to do that. So example number 1, keyword here, maximum. Okay, whenever you think of maximum, think of basically the vertex, negative b over 2a. Now, notice that the number of mosquitoes was written as a function of the rainfall. So basically what this is saying is mosquitoes equals rainfall times rainfall. So the x is the rainfall, and the m of x, which is really just a fancy way to write y equals. Those two things are the same. The y is the actual mosquitoes. So when we do the negative b over 2a, that gives us our x coordinate. That's how much rainfall. Okay, and that's what we're looking for in this case. So it'd be negative 14 over 2 times negative 1, because we have our a, our b, and our c, which is 0, but doesn't matter. So that would be 7. So 7 inches of rainfall. Okay, if we wanted to find how many mosquitoes, we would plug that back in, but this question just says how many centimeters of rain will produce. For the second one here, how long did it take for the ball to reach the ground? Okay, so when you think about this, think about the shot is going to look something like this. And we all know I'm not the best drawer. Okay, that's the ground. So really what we're looking for here is the 2 zeros. Okay, now we don't know how to factor this. Remember, when we find zeros, we can do the graph, we can do the factoring, we can do the quadratic formula. I think we're going to have to do the quadratic formula here because you guys don't know how to factor when a is not 1, which isn't your fault, but that's just the truth. So we have a, b, and c. And hopefully I get this done before the time. So it's negative b, right, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4a, oops, I should plug those in, minus 4 times negative 16 times 1.5 all over 2 times negative 16. Okay, so that would be negative 40 plus or minus the square root of, see, that would be 1600 minus 4 times negative 16 would be negative 64, I believe. That would be plus 96 because it'd be minus a negative, okay, all over negative 32, which would turn into negative 40 plus or minus the square root of 1696 all over negative 32. I know this isn't always the best way to do it. It's hard to see sometimes, but hopefully it works. So I find the square root of 1696, and I get 41.2. Now I'm going to leave this one as a decimal because it's a real life problem. So basically we have negative 40 plus 41.2 over negative 32, and negative 40 minus 41.2 over 32, negative 32. Okay, so those are our two possibilities there. Questions so far? Well, I can't really answer them anyway, but okay, so that would be what, 1.2 over negative 32, and that would be negative 81.2 over negative 32. So if I scroll down a little bit further, okay, 1.2 divided by 32 is 0.0375. Okay, so let me 0.0375, and then 81.2, oops, divided by 32. Now I'm not putting in the negatives because I know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, now this is time. This is time. This is not the distance. So in the next video, because I'm going to run out of time, we'll talk about how to find the distance. But we now know that it took 2.54 seconds to hit the ground.